The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. A flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the unknown. Eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel they're near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bizarre and the Unknown. I'm your host, E.D. Testerman. I've been doing some research on some stuff that's been going on around here, and I thought it'd be interesting to hit up a couple of these little things, mimic type creatures that we got out here. So that's what today's show is about. So, hey, Ray. So I'm kind of curious of everybody in the chat. Has anybody ever heard a familiar voice call out to you from the darkness, or seen familiar faces out in the darkness, but know that those people ain't here? I'm kind of curious who's all experienced that. I know for one, I can't take it down, Roxanne, because then it would shut the whole show down. Because of what I've been having going on here the last couple of years. Roxanne, you have. Ray, you haven't. The couple things I've been having, or the things I've been having going on here. You've not seen anything, Genocide. They're mimicking voices. They are appearing as people. Um, on our instance, it's not really people that we know. One of the most famous ones is the old man in my shop at night. Door open, lights on whenever that stuff's supposed to be shut off and closed. But we'll go outside. They'll be mimicking my dogs or mimicking someone that we know, even mimicking ourselves, calling to ourselves. That's something that we've been having going on the last couple winters around here at my place. And with the recent uptick of activity going on around here, I've been kind of curious. So, been trying to do a little research on some stuff, try to figure out what I'm dealing with out here. Um, one of these, which is going to be the first one I talk about, is something I've never heard of before. This is an interesting critter. It does come from India, but some of the stuff that it describes is very similar to what I've had going on here. Now, if anybody's been watching me for a while, you know I don't believe supernatural entities are bound by borders. They're supernatural for a reason. Borders don't bound them, blood don't bound them. They travel. That's just my opinion. I don't think they're held to one area. I think they go wherever they want to go, even if they are tied to a bloodline. That we are such a melting pot of different bloodlines through our veins. There's no such thing as a purebred anymore. So I believe they can travel because of that. And so this first one is a Corcata. The Corcata is a mythical creature that has been the subject of many tales and legends throughout history. Its origins can be traced back to ancient India and Ethiopia mythology, where it is believed to be a dog-wolf hybrid that roamed the rainforest of those regions. The earliest references to the Corcata can be found in the works of ancient writers such as Pliny, who described the creature as a combination of a dog and a wolf, or a hyena and lion. According to Pliny, the Ethiopian lioness gives birth to the Corcata, which mimics the voices of men and cattle in similar ways. In Indian mythology, the Corcata is known as a cunning and intelligent creature that lures humans and dogs to their death. It is said that to have the ability to mimic human voices and shapeshift into different forms. The beast's mimicking of the human voices has been an embodiment of deception and treachery. And the reason why that kind of drew my interest to it is because the fact of what I had happen a couple of years ago and what I had happen last winter, the thing was mimicking my dogs. That's what drew my attention to it. On top of that, we've been, like I said, hearing familiar voices out in our fields from our woods. So that kind of drew my interest to this. Over time, the tales of the Corcata traveled along trade routes and were absorbed into lore of other cultures, including ancient Greek and Roman mythology. The creature's reputation of a shapeshifter and deceiver made it a prominent feature in many mythological tales throughout time. Today, the Corcata remains a popular subject in modern literature, films, and games. It is a unique blend of features that from different animals has captured the imagination of many, and its reputation as a cunning and deceitful creature continues to fascinate people around the world. The Corcata is a mythical creature that has been described as various ways throughout history. It is often depicted as a hybrid between a dog and a hyena, which some accounts, including lion features as well. The following subsections will. So I'm getting this information off of the Mythological Encyclopedia. This is where I'm getting information off this stuff. So we're kind of looking in to see what they got on here. Which, if you guys remember, when I was talking about what I had looking, kind of going on out here a couple weekends ago, one of the images in my head was a weird dogman type creature, very similar to a hyena. The corcada is typically portrayed as a wild beast with a large, muscular body and wide mouth that extends from ear to ear. Its teeth are often depicted as being rigid and sharp, and its fur is usually a dark shade or brown or gray. Dark shade of brown or gray. Some depictions show the creature with a mane of hair around its neck, similar to that of a lion. In literature, the corcada has been described as having a body of an extremely large dog with the head of a hyena. It is said to have a unique blend of features from both animals, including the hyena's powerful jaws and the dog's loyalty and intelligence. Some accounts also describe the creature as having the ability to mimic human voices, which is used to lure unsuspecting victims. Overall, the physical description of the corcada varies between one, depending on the source. However, it is generally agreed upon that the creature is a fearsome beast with a combination of features from various animals. Now, earlier they were talking about this thing can shapeshift. Is that why we're getting different descriptions on these things from different accounts? That's very well a good possibility. If it can change its shape, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, is sometimes they're seeing it as like a dog lion combo, a dog wolf combo, human. I mean, whatever it is, I'm sure it probably takes the shape of what it's hunting. For what would say it's hunting the human, so it's going to take the shape. It's something that's going to draw that human's interest. If that's one of the techniques it uses to hunt, hey, Don, I can see that being a possibility. Hunting habits. The corcada is a mythical creature that is often described as a deadly enemy of men and dogs. And this is kind of why this one drew my interest too, is the fact that it was outside in the woods next to my house, and my dog's inside and was mimicking a dog. And my dogs were going nuts. I mean, they were absolutely going nuts over this thing. And it makes me wonder if it wasn't trying to draw them out. The creature is said to have unique hunting style that involves luring its prey by mimicking the sounds of other animals. There you go. The corcada is known to mimic the sound of a human baby crying, which attracts unsuspecting humans and animals towards it. Once its prey is within range, the corcada pounces on it and with great speed and agility, using its sharp teeth and claws to tear it apart. Some of the supernatural abilities. The corcada is also said to possess supernatural abilities that make it a formidable opponent. According to legend, the corcada has the ability to intimidate the voice of any person, which it uses to lure its victims. It is also believed to have the power of shape-shifting, which enables it to take the appearance of any animal or human. Okay, so it can shape-shift in human forms. Some stories even claim that the corcada can control the minds of its victims, making them do its bidding. Despite its fearsome reputation, the corcada remains a creature of myth and legend. While this is I'm trying to scroll down there for a second. Hey, Bigfoot George, salute. So this is fitting in very well with what I've been having going on here. Now, if this is stuck to Indian and Ethiopian mythology, we have people from India living around here. So if it is bound to that type of bloodline, then the fact that they are here would not be out of the realm of possibility that it is here as well. Some folklore and mythology. The corcada has been a part of the folklore and mythology for centuries. It is believed to be the shape-shifting creature that can mimic human voices, making it a formidable those who cross the path. In ancient times, the corcada was often depicted as a hybrid of a dog and hyena or a wolf and lion. It was said to have razor-sharp teeth and claws, making it a fearsome predator. In Indian mythology, the corcada is known as the Karuncha, a creature that is said to have the ability to change form at will. It is also believed to have supernatural powers, such as the ability to control the elements and manipulate the minds of humans. Hey, Corey. I'm too dumb for anything to take over my mind. I do it with payoff someday. um, some similar creatures to the Corcata. The Corcata is not the only mythological creature that is a combination of different animals. In Greek mythology, the Chimera was a fire-breathing monster with the head of a lion and the body of a goat and the tail of a serpent. The Sphinx was another creature with the head of a human and the body of a lion. In Egyptian mythology, the god Anubis was often depicted with the head of a jackal. So this thing here is kind of cool. This little Corcata. And the fact that it fits with a lot of stuff, not just what I've been dealing with, but a lot of stuff that other people have been dealing with as well. Makes you wonder if these things are not here. Once again, it's a supernatural creature from folklore. I do not believe it is stuck to a border. I'm sorry. I don't. I know a lot of people believe that. And a lot of people will say, hey, I've heard this from this and this and this. And they said it can't go past this because of the blood or because of the land whatsoever. I'm sorry. It's supernatural, man. It is not bound by the same limits that we are. It's not. It's far and above us. Humans are the only things that acknowledge border. It's only humans. And most of these supernatural creatures have been here longer than humans have been here. So, I mean, they've roamed these lands longer than humans have. That's why I don't believe these things are subject to borders. Well, that's true, Corey. That's absolutely true. Those borders don't last forever. Absolutely. Are those boundaries? Yeah, they don't. They don't. I know Ryan believes that the Big W is subject to the bloodline of that culture only. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't believe that because of those facts there. And like I said a little bit ago, there's so many mixed bloods out there. There's no such thing as a pure race anymore. And on top of that, people move around. So if that was the case and that was true, I got Ethiopians and I've got Indians that live around here as well. The possibility of it being here, if that is the case, is not out of the realm of possibility. It could travel with that. Same as the Big W. What's weird is the stuff that I have going on mainly happens in the time of winter. It doesn't do it during the summer. It only does it during the times of winter. I'm going to be jumping over to the mysterylures.com for the mimics and their depiction of what mimics are. That's going to be the next one. Does anybody else got anything they want to add on the Corcata before we jump on to the next one? Absolutely, Corey. Absolutely, bud. Yeah. Dark magic exists in every race and culture. Dark magic has been around longer than humans have been around. Dark magic was sorry, I got a phone call from my brother. I've got to let him know I'll call him back after the show. But you got to think, the Watchers knew of dark magic. The Fallen knew of dark magic. The jinn knew of dark magic. Most of things that was pre-human knew of dark magic. Dark magic has been around so much longer than humans have. Can I get a horchata with that? Yeah. Yeah, that horchata, man, that's an interesting critter that I didn't know a lot about. And it caught my interest because of the similarities to what's been going on around here. Um, which there's not a very many parts of the U.S. that doesn't have a type of Indian culture around. You know, there's so many of these Hindus and these Singhs and everybody else that's around the U.S. now that if they came over, and we know a lot of supernatural stuff came over when other people came over, it's not out of that realm of possibility. That's what was going on with this thing as well. I was thinking on the, sorry. Hey, Joanne. It's all around us. Yeah, it is. Jonah Side said, I was thinking on the winter thing, could it be Fae or Unseelie Court? It could be. I don't usually have a bad encounter with the Fae around here. I can't say no. I can't say that's not a possibility. That's why I'm trying to figure it out. But what I've been dealing with is it's old and it's powerful. There's no doubt about it, but it doesn't feel like it's a Fae. It feels like it's more, in modern terms, demonic than it does something on that other realm, the realm of the Fae. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been racking my brain over what's been going on. And with these latest things happening, I really want to get to the bottom of the story. Because it's a story. What's going on here? It's a strange encounter, strange experiences, and it's the only time out of 33 years I've lived here that I've actually had fear of something that's out there. I can count on my hand how many times I've had something in these woods that I went, I don't need to be out here. There's something evil here. This is probably the strongest and most active one I've dealt with out here. And I've lived out here for 33 years. I feel that I got a feeling, and I could be wrong, but I got a feeling it's tied to a location that's close by me. I really think it is. But at the same time, some other stuff that's been going on, that could be the reason as well. I don't know. They could be drawn to this area for a reason. Something is drawing it here. So we're going to go into the mysterylure.com and look up what they say about mimics. Mimics differ from typical spirits or demons. The immediate familiar voices causing confusion. They imitate familiar voices causing confusion. They appear to have no malicious intent beyond entrapment, fueling curiosity about their true purpose. Some users link the behavior to a setup of mischief rather than direct harm. Some voices of concern. Have you not gone out there lately? No, it's been too dark. I mean, every time I go to work and it's dark, I come home and it's dark. During my time off, I've been too hurt to even go out in the woods. I'm getting to where I'm moving around better. But I mean, even walking out to my mailbox and back, which is, it's a little bit of a walk. It's a little bit of a walk out to my mailbox. I'm just going out there and back, and I start hurting a little bit. Right now I'm down and hurt, and it's kind of hard to be able to get out there. Voices of concern. Experiences vary widely, but many short stories echo a similar theme. A person revealed hearing their name called. by what sounded like a familiar member at night, only to discover everyone was asleep. This aligns with others' accounts of hearing whispers or familiar tones without seeing anyone present, which is something we've experienced a lot here at night, outside. We hear them. Hey, hey Eric, come here. Hey Eric, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm here alone, and my daughter's not here. Why am I hearing my daughter's voice? This is type of stuff that goes on. My daughter will hear her friend, hey, blah, blah, blah. Come here. Hurry up. I need you. Come here. And my daughter will be like, that's my friend's voice, but my friend's literally standing right next to me. This is the type of stuff that we hear. One individual reported, I heard my brother's voice while he was at work. It was off like a long hum. Another shared, I have often heard my mom talking well after I know she was asleep. The whispers often led to unsettling encounters through respondents, though respondents agree they haven't uncovered any lasting malevolence. Instead, they present a curious case of psychological phenomenon. Cultural roots and theories. Some commentators suggest that these entities have roots in folklore, with theories hinting at ancestral instincts. The idea that early humans may have developed a awareness to beings that mimic their form, but were not truly human, leading to the uncanny feeling around these phenomena today. One user reflected could explain mimics as they sought clarification in origins on this motivations. Shadows of tomorrow. There's a strong chance that awareness grows around the nature of mimics. People will increasingly share their experiences on forums and user boards. This led to more detailed investigations into those phenomenon, with experts estimating around 60% of the inquiries may arise from those drawn by personal encounters. A community of curious individuals may develop, pushing for scientific analysts of mimic behavior, a realm where folklore meets psychology. As more stories unfold, the blending of impartial findings with the culture tales will likely enhance the public interest, driving additional research and discussions around the subject. Me personally, I don't believe there's such a thing called a mimic. I think other things mimic this, and they're just being classified as a mimic. That's my opinion on mimics. I don't believe it's an actual supernatural entity. I think one type of supernatural entity or another could be doing this, and that's why people are coming out calling it a mimic, because it's mimicking. I think this is where mimic come from. I could be wrong, and I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that's my feelings. That's what I think is going on with these mimics. I don't know what you guys all think on that, but that's my opinion. I don't think a mimic is a real thing. I think it's a misidentification. Oh, crap. Hey, Arlen. I just got bombarded with a bunch of messages, so let me get caught up here. Wow. I got hit with a crap ton of messages all at once. Let me find out where I left off here. Okay. I am in the belief that these spirits are the unearthly spirits of the fallen angels' offsprings who've drawn during the Great Flood. That is partial, probably. I I can't say no, Arlen. I'm on a different scale than that. These things have been around longer than humans have. But I can't say no to your theory. I really can't. Most of your so the Watchers are the ones that mated with the humans. That's why they weren't the fallen. They were Watchers. They were watching over humanity. Became lustful of women and breeded with them and created giants. Okay. The fallen was something completely different. That was the angels that rebelled in heaven during the civil war in heaven and were cast down. That is the fallen. Um, could this be offspring of some of those fallen? Possibly. Could it be the offspring of the Watchers? Possibly. But I can't say no and I can't say yes, if that makes sense. Doesn't the big W mimic people? Yes, it does, Roxanne. If I was you, I would get some wireless security cameras around the house. If I got some that go to my iPad, I use them on investigations. Problem is if I put them out, a lot of things don't. When it comes to more so cryptid than supernatural. I've kicked around putting them out, and I've got solar powered energy packs that I hook them up to when I don't have access to electricity. That's why I got those type of cameras for when I'm out in investigation. I don't have access to electricity. I can hook them up to these solar charged battery packs and place them out there, and they all Wi-Fi to my iPad. But yeah, Arlen, that is definitely a possibility. It's not so much the side that I'm on, but I can't say no, dude. You bring up a great point. My daughter and I were walking barefoot in the grass at my old football field, and something behind us screamed Corey using my mother's voice, and my daughter freaked out. I remember you telling me about that, Corey. Yeah. I mean, and if I remember correctly, you got very protective and defensive because it freaked your daughter out. Yeah, that's and that's very similar to the stuff that was happening around here. The difference between what they're calling a mimic here, I can tell you the feeling is it's not malicious, it's intent to cause harm. Like I had it when it was following me down my center drive when I was trying to get to my truck at the end of my drive because I ran out of gas. I literally heard something scraping on top of my pop-up camper and literally turned my flashlight around and nothing was there. I can hear it moving in the trees and I'm following it with my flashlight, not able to see anything. Whatever this was, I could not see it with the naked eye. I couldn't. No matter how much I tried, I hear it walking behind me and I quickly turn around, shine the light, and there's nothing there. It don't even leave a footprint. But you can literally hear it walking behind me. You hear it calling out names. You'll hear women screaming at night. You'll hear baby cries. You'll hear people calling your name, telling you, hey, come here, come here now, help me. This is everything that is the type of crap I've been hearing, but it only happens at winter. That's why I was like, okay, this could be a big W. In fact, that it's only winter based, but I can't say that's what it is because I don't know. I don't have enough evidence to make a good, educated suggestion of what this thing is. That's why I'm constantly trying to figure it out. And the level of activity is ramped up. It's changed. It's not been the same. It's constantly changing. That was so weird. I thought I seen something pop up here, and I thought, oh, it was probably my arm. Never mind. Um, In the 1800s, ghost stories filled culture disclosure. My daughter was more concerned about my lack of concern. I knew it was trying to distract me, so I didn't acknowledge it. That's what, yeah, that's a very good practice, Corey. Absolutely. Echoes from history. In the 1800s, ghost stories filled cultural discourse, which, like today's exploration of mimics, people reported phenomenon resembling familiar voices, often attributed to spirits seeking to communicate with the living. These encounters spurred the super spiritualism of movement, driven by a blend of fear and fascination. The community lies in how human beings wrestled with the unknown, choosing to share narratives that connect and provoke thought. Just as a spiritualism shifted public perception, discussions about mimics may inspire new understandings about the relationship between reality and illusion, reminding us how tales can shape beliefs and behaviors. I lived in a house, Genocide said, I live in a house where my name called finally. I yelled, "What?" Oops, crap, it jumped. Hold on one second. It stopped for a while but continued. My coworker lives there now and freaked out when I told him doesn't want to talk about it. Like, yeah, hey Arlene, where I used to work, I heard doors open and close. One door I could see, I heard the sounds, but the door didn't open. When I would hear footsteps all around, no one there. Oh, and no one was there. I've ran in, so many times I've ran into that when it came to paranormal. But I've ran into cases with supernatural where that was doing it too. So I could see that. I'd say most likely you're dealing with something paranormal, but I can't rule out the possibility of something supernatural being at that place as well. Depends on the history of that land or the history of the owners. I was a supervisor and had to work after everyone else had gone home. Yeah, and that's so. There, I've been trying to pinpoint why activity seems to happen when somebody's alone versus when multiple people are there. And the two theories I've got is either one, it's happening when everybody else is there. It's just there's so much noise pollution and movement going on, polluting what's going on that you don't recognize it at that point until you're alone and all that ceased. And then you start noticing it. Or B is because there's too many people there, so it doesn't want to reveal itself with that many people there, but it does it when you're alone. Each one of those is a good theory about why that stuff happens in that order. I cannot tell you verbatim why it is. That's just two of my theories of why this happens when it's usually one to very few people there versus a lot. But this is a common report you're talking about that I've heard all over this world from multiple different people and read about. I'm curious of why that is. I really am. I really am. And I've had a lot of success on paranormal investigations when other people haven't, because I think my theory is because I treat them like a human, because they're still human. They're just not a flesh and blood human anymore. They're still human. And a lot of people approach them as they're something else, that they're non-human. And I think that's why they're not as successful as I've been on my investigations. Like I've got down and play with little kid spirits. I'll get down there and play. I've played tag. I've played hide and go seek. I've played with toys. I treated them like a human, and that's what they're missing. When you're gone and your fleshly body you've left that fleshly body, and only your spirit remains, and hardly anybody can hear you or see you, you're craving that connection with humans again. You're just not getting it at the level because you can see them, you can hear them, they can't see or hear you. That is one of my theories why, if you treat them like a human, they're more apt to acknowledge you and speak to you and do things with you because they're longing for that human connection. We're humans. We're meant to have a human connection with another human. And when you're gone from your fleshly body, um, that longing gets strong and powerful because you can't get it like you used to. Does this lead to why some of them become violent? Possibly. Not all of them, but I'd say that's probably the case on a few because they're so angry they can't get that human connection that they're trying anything they can to get it, or it just drives them insane. And that's why they become that way. I think some of them are angry because that's how they were when they were alive. So, I mean, that's just my theories from what I've gathered on my investigations that I've done. I'm not telling you guys this is what it is. I'm just telling you this is my theory based off of my experiences. So, see, these guys are talking about these mimics as being ghosts. I don't think mimics are ghosts. I really think mimics are a misidentification. I think there's something else and not usually very good. Has anybody got anything they want to add on the mimics? Oh, Arlen, are you still at that work? I can't. Let me read up. Let me read back up again. No, okay, never mind. You're not. Sorry. Okay. Um, that place has got my interest that you're talking about. My daughter thought all of the things I talk about was BS, and the reality of it was all a little too much. Yeah, and that happens to so many people, Corey. I think deep down, people believe in it. They just don't want to admit it uh, for whatever reason it is. But once they can't dispute it, they can't laugh it off, they can't ignore it. It hits them like a ton of bricks that it freaks them out. Um, in some cases, that draws them to into it even more, wanting to learn about it. And some, it scares the holy living crap out of them. So I mean, I've heard that very same thing happen to several other people. Waiting on your deal to pop up so I can read. There it goes. One of the set of footsteps, I believe, was residual. We had a guard die on the job one night. The footsteps in the path he used, I am retired and that building is closed now. Okay. Yeah. So residual haunts. Yeah. That's like a recording that plays over and over and over. I'd say you're probably pretty close to accurate on what's going on with those footsteps. I really do. I think you're absolutely probably hitting the nail on the head with that one. Residual haunts, they're not intelligent. I mean, they're literally just a memory that is playing on repeat. Honestly, that's what a residual haunt is. There's no intelligence to it all. Um, and I can see that's a common thing that I've heard dealing with residual haunts is like a security guard walking its path. Say they did it for 30, 40 years. That's all they remember. They're going to leave energy behind, and it's going to be familiar to them that they're going to do that. Imprints, yeah, imprints. Actually, yeah, Corey, yeah, they're imprints. They're literally a spiritual recording that just plays over and over and over and over. Absolutely. Man, I went through this quicker than I thought I would. I picked three because I thought it'd take me a couple hours to do three of them, and it's not. I'm already on the doppelganger one now. There's several different things about doppelgangers. You know, This one here is more on the supernatural side of the doppelgangers. Um, Genocide. I have a friend who's an atheist but won't go into a haunted house because he's scared of the ghosts, but he's a atheist, so shouldn't he believe that ghosts aren't real? And yes, have called him out on it. I agree. I mean, you'll be surprised how many so-called atheists are actually believers. They just don't want to admit it for whatever reason or not. They are closed door believers. Is a good way to I put it. I've noticed that with atheists, a lot of atheists, not all of them, but a lot of them, that they're actually a closed door believer. They believe differently than what mainstream does, and so they claim to be atheists when they're not. Me, myself, and I don't believe in mainstream religion. I believe it's wrong. I believe it's been written wrong. I believe it's written to fit the powers to be instead of being accurate, if that makes sense. And I'm just not afraid to come out about it. You know, I believe in Yahuwah. I believe in Yeshua. I also believe there's others too. I believe it's not just them. I also believe that, you know, Yahuwah is known by many different names from many different cultures. I'm just not a mainstream religious person. So that's just me. And I ain't going to dog for somebody that is mainstream religion. Hey, as long as you're worshiping Yahuwah, that's all that matters, man. Doppelgangers is German for double gore. In German folklore, a wraith or apparition of a living person as distinguished from a ghost. The concept of the existence of spirit double, an exact but usually invisible replica of every man, bird, or beast. It's an ancient and widespread belief to meet one's double in a sign that one's death is intimate. The doppelganger became a popular symbol of horror literature, and the theme took on considerable complexity. In The Double in 1846 by Fyodor Dostoevsky, for example, a poor clerk, Goloydikin, driven to madness by poverty and unrequited love, beholds his own wraith, who succeeds in everything at which Gloyadikin has failed. Finally, the wraith succeeds in disposing of his original, and an early unknown story of the doppelganger appears in the novel Die Elixir des Teufels, Volume 2, 1815 to 1816. The Devil's Elixir by the German writer of fantastic tales E.T.A. Hoffmann. Everyone has fear. Some just control their fear better than others. Absolutely. That didn't give me as much. And that was from the Britannia, is where I got that. I want to go see if I can find some more on that. Jonas, I said, my brother is a born again, and we don't talk religions much, but he's just happy I have faith. That's enough for him. Exactly. I agree with you 100% of that. On with that. Don says, most are fear what they don't know. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct on that. I'm trying to find a better. I thought it had more in that Britannia than I thought. I must have had a different site earlier. I must have wrote down the wrong site. Etymology. The term doppelganger is a German origin with doppel, meaning double, and ganger, meaning walker or gore. Essentially, it translates to double walker or double gore. The idea of the doppelganger, a ghostly double or counterpart of the living person, has its roots in ancient myths and folklore from various cultures. The German folklore of it, the term doppelganger, originates from the German folklore and is compounded of two words, doppel, double, or ganger, walker, gore. In German legend, the story seeing one doppelganger was rarely considered a positive sign. These spectral doubles weren't just harmless twins, but they were seen as supernatural entities. Ominous omens. Doppelgangers were typically viewed as harbingers of bad luck. God knows I've had a lot of that here lately. Don says the problem is I know enough that I fear a lot I don't know. Yeah, Don. I agree with you on that, buddy. If someone saw a relative or a friend's doppelganger, it was an omen that that person's in question would suffer ill health or grave misfortune. Seeing one's own doppelganger was an even more dire warning, often believed to signal impending death. Some of the interactions. Most legends warned against trying to communicate or interact with one's doppelganger, as they are considered malevolent entities. These doubles were said to attempt to provide advice to a person they shadow. But this advice was always deceptive and misleading. Arlen says, I wish I could tell you of some of the things I have experienced in my walk with God. Most people wouldn't believe me. I get that, Arlen. Yeah. You know, I've seen Yeshua. I've physically seen Yeshua twice. So, I mean, there's no way in heck that I can't believe that Yeshua is not real. I've literally seen Yeshua twice. So, I mean, I get that. Hey, Jessica. In Norse mythology, the Vardorger or Valdor is a unique spirit or ghostly double from Norse or Scandinavian folklore. While this concept has similarities to the doppelganger, it carries some distinct features. Unlike the doppelganger, which appears concurrently with a person, the Vardorger is a form of a forerunner. It performs actions ahead of the living counterpart. For instance, witnesses might hear a person arriving and performing certain tasks, like opening a door or shouting, only to find that the actual person arrives shortly after, repeating the same task. Neutral sign. The appearance of a Vardorger wasn't necessarily considered bad or good. Instead, it was more of a neutral entity, a kind of echo from the future. Tales of the Vardorger might have served as explanations from ancient or incidents of Djeva in Norse context. Arlen says, "I have witnesses I have witnessed a mountain move and a road appear in its place, then later change back. It was on the Cherokee Reservation." Oh, wow. That's cool. I've seen similar stuff, not at that level, but I know what you're talking about. And I've seen very similar stuff like that. Now, I've been in instances where I was like, man, Yahuwah saved me from this bad situation. The next thing you know, I was in that bad situation. A split second later, I was in a good situation, not where I was at. And I'm like, how'd that happen? How did I get here? Egyptian mythology, the Ka. In ancient Egyptian beliefs, the Ka is one of the components of human soul. The concept is multi-faced, and carries a depth of spiritual significance. It's spirit double. The Ka was often depicted as a twin or a double image of the person to whom it belonged. It was born with every person and lived on after they died. It is not just a spirit duplicate. It is interestingly tied to the individual, sharing their emotions, memories, and experiences. The life force. The Ka was considered the life force of an individual, a spiritual replication that needed substance, just as the body did. This is why food offerings were left in tombs for the deceased. They were meant to sustain the Ka post death. For afterlife journey, preserving the body through mummification was essential because the Ka needed a place to reside. Without the body, the Ka would suffer. Genocide says, I have has that come to Odin moment. Oh, you've had that come to Odin moment, like he talked to me and I felt hands on my shoulders. This was almost 20 years ago. Oh yeah, honestly, I think Mount Rainier was moved on me while driving once. You know, Odin can do a lot of stuff, just like any other type of whatever it is deity that you believe in. They can do that type of stuff. Some supernatural entities can do that type of stuff. Edgar Allan Poe's William Wilson, Setting an Atmosphere. Like many of Poe's tales, William Wilson is suffered with a dark and foreboding atmosphere. The narrative is steeped in mystery and the uncanny, which becomes evident as the protagonist's history with his doppelganger unfolds. Duality and self-recognition. The story is much about inner conflict as it is. Oh, you know what? I just got an idea. Let's read his poem. Beans is dealing with a doppelganger. Let's read his poem. Are you guys down with that? Um, Let me call myself for the present William Wilson. The fair page now lying before me need not be soiled with my real appellation. This has been already too much an object for the scum, for the horror, for the destination of my race. To the uttermost regions of the globe have not the indigenous winds rooted its unparalleled infamy. O outcast of all outcast, most abundant, to the earth art thou not forever dead? To its horrors, to its flowers, to its golden aspirations, and a cloud, dense, dismal, and limitless, does it not hang eternally between the hopes and heaven? I would not. Oh, let me scroll down here. Okay. I would not, if I could hear or today embody a record of my later years of unspeakable misery and unpardonable crime. This epoch, these later years, took unto themselves a sudden elevation in turpitude, whose origins alone it is my present purpose to assign. Men usually grow base by degrees. From me in an instant all virtue dropped bodily as a mantle. I shrouded my nakedness in the triple guilt. From comparative twirl weakness I passed, with the stride of a giant, into more than the in the enormities of the El Gabals. What chance, what one event brought this evil thing to pass? Bear with me while I relate. Death approaches, and a shadow which foreruns him has thrown a softened influence over my spirit. I long, in passing through the dim valley, for the sympathy, I nearly said for the pity of the fellow men. I would fain have them believe that I have been, in some measure, the slave of circumstance beyond human control. I would wish them to seek out for me, in the details I am about to give, some little oasis of fatality amid a wilderness of error. I have them allow what they cannot refrain from, allowing that although temptation may have existed, a great man was never thus, at least tempted before, certainly never thus fell, and it is therefore that he has never thus suffered. Have I indeed been living in a dream? And am I now dying a victim to horror and the mystery of the wildest of all sublunary visions? So you kind of see him kind of getting into what he was talking. Oh, top of the hour. Thank you. Arlen says, most nights I just sit and listen. I have been subscribed to you for at least 7 or 8 months, but this is the first time I have entered the chat and enjoy your channel. I learned of you from DAs. Thank you, Arlen. That's awesome. Top of the hour. See, we did Dark Angel Medical yesterday. Let's do My Books, Roxanne. You can find my books at amazon.com/author/Ed Testerman. Go in there, give me a follow, rate, and comment my books. Help me get them out there. And any other author that you like, that you buy their books off of Amazon, do the same thing for them as well. Help us to grow and get our books out to more and more people. With your comments, it also helps us to see how you guys are liking how our books are going. So it's helpful in multiple different ways. So I highly recommend go there, give me a follow, rate and comment my books, and anybody else's that you follow as well. So as we're listening to William Wilson started to get into his encounter, you can see how his encounter with this doppelganger starts to really bother him. And this is fitting a lot with that German type of doppelganger that we was hearing about before in some aspects. And it's kind of a little bit of all of them, but it's kind of focused more on the German side of it. And it continues on. I am the descendant of a race whose imaginative and is easily excitable temperament has at all times rendered them remarkable. And in an earliest fancy, I gave evidence of having fully inherited the family's character. As I advance in years, it is more strongly developed, becoming for many reasons a cause of serious dispute to my friends and of positive injury to myself. I grew self-willed, addicted to the wildest caprices, and a prey to the most ungovernable passions, weak-minded and beset with constitutional infirmities akin to my own. My parents could do but little to check the evil propensities with which distinguished me. Some feeble and ill-directed efforts result in complete failure on their part, and of course, in total triumph onto mine. Thenceforward, my voice was household law, and at an age when few children have abandoned their leading strings, I was left to the guidance of my own will, and became, in all but name, the master of my own actions. Yes, they are. They are on Audible as well. All but one. I'm trying to get it fixed. For some reason, they threw one of my chapters in a different spot, and we can't fix it. And I've been trying for a few months now to get them to cancel that contract so I can get it re-uploaded and get it back out there. No worries, Joanne. My earliest recollections of school life are connected with a large rambling cottage built and somewhat decayed building in a misty-looking village of England, where were a vast number of gigantic and gnarled trees, and where all the houses were excessively ancient. In truth, it was a dream-like and spirit-soothing place. The venerable old town at this moment is in fancy. I feel the refreshing chillness of its deeply shadowed avenues, inhale the fragrance of its thousands shrubberies, and they thrill anew with undefinable delight at the deep hollow note of the church bell, breaking each hour with sullen and sudden roar upon the stillness of the dusky atmosphere in which the old fretted Gothic steeple lay embedded and asleep. You know, he's building this up. I'm trying to let me see if I can go to where he's talking about his doppelganger more. but he's starting to kind of give you an idea of why what was happening because of this doppelganger. This thing was actually a lot longer than I realized. I mean, this thing is a really long one. So we won't be able to read all of it. I was trying to glance through, see where it's talking more about what was happening to him. So, um, DA watch on Roku, run chat on tab. Oh, you can watch him on Roku? That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I've been having a lot of internet trouble, so I've not been able to watch like DA shows and Jessica shows like I want to. I mean, I'm even having trouble doing. I don't know what's going on with the internet in this area. Um, but even this past few weeks, it's been worse than ever. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I know who is having a huge internet issue around the state here, but a lot of people said theirs was fixed. Mine hasn't been fixed. I don't know what's going on. Like it's constantly, if I'm trying to watch DA show or like Jessica's show, it's constantly buffering. Jonaside, that is a good question. I like all my books. Some of them tie into the saga of Grimsons, so I would probably start there. But if you like Vikings, a good ones would be Secrets of Mercia, but that's the one I'm waiting to get out on Audible. That's my historical fiction. But the sagas of Grimson, book one, the beginning, and book two, Black Death, that is my historical fiction, Viking style cryptid horror. In book one, the beginning, it's got multiple different short stories of things he's dealing with, trying to give you an idea of what Grimson is and what he becomes. And book two, it starts going to one basis, where book three, he's actually dealing with the Wendigo that he had fought in book one. So if that's kind of your repertoire, you can start with that. If you just want a modern day cryptid horror, Beast of the Ozarks is a good one. That's one of my best sellers right now, is Beast of the Ozarks, First Kill. Yeah, I need to change mine. I'm trying to get money saved up to get Starlink. I live way out in the boonies. Tanya Prime is in the his house. But I'm trying to think. I mean, I've got 6 or 7 books out there. Beast of the Ozarks is a prequel to the saga of Grimsons, but it's modern day. I've got an old Norse style Mountain Man series that's very similar to it's my way of paying homage to Louis L'Amour and the Sacketts, because that's the first books I read. I loved Louis L'Amour's books. I love the Sacketts. So the Dolphs is where they're getting set up here in America. And I haven't started on book 2 of that yet. But you kind of get the concept where they're at sea hunting pirates and building a community in the New World as well. So it really just depends on what you like to read. When your YouTube was blocking people and censoring people, Roku threatened to kick YouTube off of their platform. No, that is so cool, Arlen. I didn't know that. That is cool. But so you get to hearing these doppelgangers. I mean, there's different concepts of these doppelgangers. Oh God, yeah, paperwork. It's hard to say what they are. Even William and I have discussed on these doppelgangers being interdimensional beings of you, just from a different dimension. That's also a possibility too. I mean, doppelgangers has been around for a very long time. Um, we could be misidentifying what we're calling doppelgangers nowadays with something completely different. Oh, did you, Arlen? Yeah, I live way out in the country, so only type of internet I got satellite. I can't get anything else. They didn't even run all that internet they were supposed to run out here. Whenever a certain individual took over an office, it stopped. They didn't even get within a mile of my house. Saga Grimson Book One. It's one of my favorite ones. You'll see my progression in writing from that book on. That was the very first book that I published, was Saga Grimson Book One, the beginning. So I've gotten stuff that helps me to write. I've got my INYAR readers that help me too. Since I hurt my back last week, I've not been able to sit long enough in here to continue writing some more. I can be in here for about a couple hours and I got to go. It just gets hurting my back too much. Which one are you talking about, Joanne? Because I know they sent you the wrong one. I had to send it back to you. 41 years before I retired. Yeah, I mean, there's a need for IT. I don't understand computers like I would like to. See, Robert Louis Stevens' Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is another example of a doppelganger. Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Double, is another one. And this is all stuff that you can read that has concepts dealing with doppelgangers. Some of the recent movies or shows: Us from 2019, Black Swan from 2010, Westworld TV series 2016 to present, Counterpart TV series from 2017 to 19, Twin Peaks original 1990 1991, The Revival 2017, The Haunting of Bly Manor 2020, Living with Yourself 2019, Fight Club 1999. These are some of the books that these doppelgangers have been in. How that's kind of reached the modern day of just literature, entertainment. Let's see, is there any more? Sigmund Freud interpreted the doppelganger as a representation of one's unconscious, a manifestation of one's repressed desires and tendencies. In the scenes encountering one's doppelganger might be seen as confronting an aspect of oneself that one has denied or suppressed. So that was his outlook on a doppelganger. Arlen says, after EP, they suck. Apple are good, though. They are devil seed. Yes, I've got Apple products. I mainly got it because they're harder to hack. And when I had Droid, they were being hacked so easily. That's why I just got away from them. See if I can find some more information on this. In many doppelganger narratives, the poltergeist is often haunted or even threatened by their double. Protagonist, sorry. The protagonist is often haunted or even threatened by their double. The parallels Jung's idea that the physiological growth of an individual to occur, one must confront and integrate the shadow. Avoiding or suppressing it only gives it more power. Encountering a doppelganger then can be symbolic of this confrontation with one's own darker aspects and the subsequent need for acknowledgement and integration. Hey, Jeff. Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. That's interesting, Arlen. Interesting, Arlen. Hey, Monisha, long time no see. How you been? Are you feeling better? See, so doppelgangers through history. Ancient Egypt was 3100 BCE, which was the Ka. The ancient Greece was the 8th century BCE to 6th century CE, which was the nemesis or echo. While not directed doppelgangers, characters like the nemesis, the spirit of the divine retribution, and echo, who could only repeat back the last words spoken to her, reflected themes and mirrored identities and echoes of itself. Norse mythology was the 2nd century to the 12th century. The German folklore was the medieval period. It's got several of them. Okay, so the medieval period, the term doppelganger originates, signaling a spiritual double of a person. These were generally seen as bad omens. 19th century was goth fiction. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. The thing of doppelganger became popular in goth fiction. Notable examples included Edgar Allan Poe's William Wilson and Fyodor Dostoevsky's Double. 20th century film and television, 21st century modern pop culture. They're in video games. They're doppelgangers and are in a lot of stuff. But you can see how some of this stuff changes to fit one's narrative, whatever they're doing. And could this be what's leading into the misidentification of what a doppelganger is? I believe that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is we didn't know some of the things that we know now. So that could be an advancement of what we know our knowledge is on a doppelganger. Both of those are very good possibilities. But these are just other things that mimic things. What I've had going on out here, I don't think was a doppelganger. I think it was more of the first two we talked about. Let's see if I missed anything in chat. Okay, nope. Sorry. I had my allergies for some reasons. Well, I don't know if it's allergies. I'm guessing it's allergies, but make sure there ain't nothing else on here that I'm missing. So but these are a type of mimic. That's why I had to put them up there. There's many different types of mimics out there. In all different cultures, all different folklore have different types of mimics. Native people have theirs. The ones we've seen here, the Greek, the German, the Norse. All of them have a different type of mimic. What I'm dealing with here, I don't know. The Courtier is one of them that fits very similar to what I've been dealing with here. I don't know. Really don't know what's going on. But that's what led me to doing a lot of this research. Is I wanted to figure out what am I dealing with out here. I can tell you now, it feels ancient and it feels evil. It has not been aggressive. That has been 1 plus 2 what I've had. It's not been aggressive. It's mainly just like it's trying to cause fear. and it gets excited when it causes that fear. Arlen says, I've seen stories that I've read when it ran, the only thing that didn't change was the names. Yeah. I don't know if what I got going on's been keeping this entity from being violent. I just know it hasn't been violent yet. Oh no. That, Jeff, that sucks, buddy. That sucks. I need to. Hey, Jeff, if you wouldn't mind, message me later. Let me know what you and you guys are doing next Sunday. I want to get you guys on. I kind of threw this one together at the last minute because I wasn't sure if my back would hold up to doing shows this weekend. That's why I haven't really reached out to anybody yet. But my back's doing better, so I'll be getting some people on, and then like I said, depends on what happens with this knee surgery. It depends on what I can do with the show. Push comes to shove, if I can't do a show, I'm probably going to have to find somebody to do a show for me. If I'm not able to do a show after this knee surgery until I can do it again. That is one of the things I've been trying to contemplate on, is who I can ask to kind of do the show for me in my absence. But yeah, I'd like to see if I can get you guys on next Sunday. Any questions on this stuff that oh, cool, Jeff. Yeah, that'd be good too. That would be cool. Yeah, no kidding, Jonaside. Thank you, Arlen. Yeah, it's but you guys got any questions on any type of this mimic stuff? Have you guys ever experienced anything mimicking something? You know, that courtier really caught my interest when I was researching different types of mimics, because it is very close to what I've been dealing with out here. Not exact, but in some aspects, it was very similar to that. Now, the fact that it was going after my dogs, I believe it was going after my dogs just as well as me. Who, me? Yeah, that would be interesting. Welcome to the Bizarre and the Unknown Roxanne Hour. I'm an angel, not a devil. Watch my jumper munchers go. Yeah, Bigfoot's mimic. Yeah, Bigfoot's is another type of mimic. Absolutely. Trickster spirits. Absolutely. That's another type. I just kind of ran into these three because the one I haven't heard of before, and I kind of wanted to get people, hey, William, kind of get people kind of used to going, this is not a mimic, but try to get what it actually is. Because I don't think a mimic is an actual thing. I think it's a misidentification of things that do mimic. That's kind of why I was reading that. She's an amazing angel. Come on. I love the hell out of Roxanne. She's good people's, man. Have you, William? But yeah, so that's kind of why I did that, and the doppelganger thing too, because me and William has talked about doppelganger stuff before, but we haven't really got to the history of doppelgangers. So that's why I incorporated that onto today's show, is to kind of show you where the origins of the term doppelganger came from. Arlen says, oh, yeah, I used to work nights. I was home in bed and heard my wife call me from the kitchen. She was at work. I got up, went to the kitchen, no one there. Yeah, I mean, that stuff happens a lot, man. You do, yeah. Someone does, and you do a good job at it, Roxanne. You do. Um, but with I'm trying to remember off the top of my head some of these other things. I think I remember hearing you talk about that before, Jeff. You talked about that on your show before, haven't you, bud? If I remember correctly. I remember you talking about that before. I just don't remember where I heard it. Yeah, I mean, Bigfoots will mimic. Types of Bigfoots would mimic women screaming in the woods or babies crying. There's so many things that mimic stuff out there. There really is. I just don't think there's actual thing called a mimic. I mean, and I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. My experience is it's something else that's mimicking and not a actual mimic itself. You know, one of the oldest ones, like we read, is that doppelganger from German folklore, and it's a mimic. So I really think that's what's going on when people are talking about it. I really do. I don't think there's an actual thing called a mimic, but I don't know. I mean, I may do some research and find out that I'm wrong. That's just how it is. But with like I was describing what the image was that popped in my head with that one was like a wolf and a hyena. When I seen that courtier, that's when I was like, holy crap. That's very similar to what the image was that popped in my head. And that being from India and Ethiopia, I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. And the fact that it mimics humans and it mimics dogs and takes the shapes of humans and takes the shapes of other creatures. I was like, is that what's messing with me out here? Main house is in the Hayes house. Yeah, I was camping in the hammock. I heard it across from me, mimicking my friend next to me. That's funny, dude. That's one of those go, man, do I want to get up or do I want to say screw it? Jessica says, I heard my voice one night while hiking in the meadow with my research teammate. It took a couple of weeks to realize that it was my voice saying time travel. Yeah, I remember you talking about that. You've even talked about it when I've been on the show with you. That's interesting, Jessica. I mean, you're going, okay, is it me time traveling? Or is that something trying to throw me off using my voice? Is it reading my mind on certain things? And that's why we're dealing with that. Either way, man, it is wicked. It's a wicked encounter right there. So I don't know, I definitely have some type of mimicking type creature out here, supernatural entity out here. William. Yeah, it's still undecided, but cool. Yeah. I mean, when I heard you talking about that one, even with Jeff's with that snoring thing, I mean, both of that stuff fascinates the hell out of me because it's just proof out there that stuff happens. Jeff said, my dumbass got out of the hammock and tried to find it. Then I went back to sleep. I know I'll be laying there. It's like, dude, I'm tired. I really want to get my fat butt out of this chair, out of this hammock, and go see what the hell's mimicking. Or I just hold there at the flashlight, and look around. It's like, I mean, I'm going to be a burrito. Yeah. Is Corey Cole a mimic? We find out that one day that Corey Cole was an actual mimic. And, we're kind of go. We had a feeling this whole time, and now it's confirmed. Oh, hey, Auntie, how's it going? I have, oops, it jumped on me. Roxanne says, I have names for voices in my head. Arlen says, most people are jealous that the voices are talking to us. Yeah, that's true. I've ran into people like, how can you hear that stuff and see that stuff and I can't? I'm just like, man, that's just how it is, you know? I mean, it's just how it is. I'm just more in tune to it than you are, I guess, or they just talk to me more than they talk to you. It's hard to say. You know, I know what's going on. There's something evil out here. And it's bad enough, like I said, that I'm going to start putting protection runes up around the entrances of my home. I can tell you that. I don't know if that's what it was that's mimicking me, if it's something else that's out here doing it. But it's whatever's out here messing around. It's to that point that I'm going to start putting protection runes up around the entrances of my home. You know, it's just when you get touched in that energy and feeling that energy around you, you are going to, you can tell when something's not good. And there is definitely a very evil presence around here. And I really do, it's feel that it's tied to that location close by me. So I'm also, when I get certain stuff made, certain stuff gathered up, I'm going to be putting protection runes around my property too. I've heard voices, haven't heard my own. Never good to mimic stupid. Don says you have to open to it to be open. You have to be open to it to hear it from them. Yeah, absolutely, bud. Yeah. What was scary was a friend said she heard the voices in my head also. Kidding. Aaron says, I've heard a man's voice talking to me before. Man, yeah. I mean, and that could be paranormal, but still, it freaks you out when you're not used to it. And people calling my name in my sleep. Yeah, I've heard that too, Auntie. Yeah, that's some wicked crap right there. I actually heard gibberish at the same campsite this year. I got up to pee and got back in my hammock. See, you know, and I have sat there and talked about that gibberish and that samurai chatter I've heard out here on multiple occasions. I've heard that out here, Jeff. And then I finally caught them actually speaking two different Native American languages, and I wasn't even set out to capture it. So, I mean, I get that. When you hear that stuff, man, I know it, your heart just it's going because you just get excited. Auntie says, Dad's house has a shadow person that is also where I've had most of my experiences. Yes, I mean, is that an actual shadow person? Is that a partial manifestation of a ghost? I mean, it's hard to say what it is. And that house slap, oh, wow. So, call Steve Lilly and his crew to help out. Yeah. You know, oddly enough, tonight's been pretty mellow. I haven't had anything weird going on tonight. But whatever, you know, whooped the crap out of them coyotes a couple of weeks ago, and it's still been kind of hanging around. Like I said, the other night I got out of the shower. As I was stepping out, dogs got up from a dead sleep and was straight protective mode, growling and barking at something at the window. And then I caught that image in my head. I caught a picture of a shadow person I sent to DA. Oh, hell, that's cool, Arlen. Blue orbs and triangle shapes and the weird bird calls. Oh, yeah, I've heard that too. Man, I heard one of it's not the loudest owl calls I've ever heard. But a couple weekends ago, I actually forgot to share this yesterday. I was out on my front porch and I was marking my territory. We'll just leave it at that. And from the front of my property out from my road, I heard a very, very loud hoot owl. I mean, very loud hoot owl. Not the loudest one. The loudest one I heard reverberated in my chest. I'm pretty sure that was my Bigfoot that was on the property. But I've never heard a hoot owl hoot this loud. And it was so perfect. It sounded like it was an actual hoot owl hooting. But man, was it so loud. Yeah, no kidding. Man, I said my uncle heard a bobcat calling his name in the woods one night. He hunted it down and ended it. Oh, wow, dude. That would be creepy. Joanne, I heard a mimic once. I was shopping at a grocery store, and clear as a bell, heard my mother call my name. She wasn't there. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that stuff too. I mean, I have. It'll get you going. Jeff says, I've actually enjoy hearing them. It don't bother me. I'm more curious about what they're doing. I agree. Yeah. Oops, great uncle. Oh. Okay. Hey, Marcy, how's it going? Jeff says, heard one of the best knocks I've ever heard a few weeks ago. Oh, did you capture it on audio? Main house is so loud it vibrated in my chest. Yeah, I've heard hoot owls and dogs and weird bird calls that vibrated in my chest and kind of hurt the ears a little bit. This hoot owl didn't do that, but it was very, very, and it was clean. I mean, you would swear it was just a big ass hoot owl. That's how clean that call was. But it was so freaking loud. And then, like last winter, I'm starting to get that one really loud wolf owl again. That used to happen every night. This has only happened twice now. But it's weird how it's coming back into winter. And now I'm getting that one single very loud wolf owl again. That's good, Marcy. Oh, no worries. I still got to cook dinner myself. Auntie says, one time I heard a hoot that ended with a rooster call. No. Oh, that's cool, man. He laughed out loud. No, you didn't catch it. Oh, I get that, man. Yeah. I don't know how many times. I take that back. It was last night. I was getting some wood. It was after the show. I was getting some wood in the wheelbarrow and bringing it up to the porch. And all of a sudden, way out in the distance to the south of me, all I heard was a whoop, was that. It was out there. It was a little ways away. But it was so cool because I went, ooh, they're still here. Jonas says, I hear owls here, but never seen them. Oh, man, yeah, I'll call them in. Auntie says, my nephews heard that one time. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it was a Bigfoot. I knew it was a Bigfoot. I thought they were away because I've seen very little signs of them. But very little signs of them. And then I heard that the other night. It was just a whoop. And I was like, oh, they're back. But it was way to the south. So, it made me happy. I honestly think that night when I heard that something very large, heavy bipedal walking, it literally thump. And you hear leaves crunch right after each thump. Right after them coyotes got jacked up by something. And I heard them two weird ass guttural women screaming coming from whooping them coyotes. And then two more to the north of me. Something told me to go inside. I think it was the Bigfoot. I could be wrong. That's my feeling, is the Bigfoot was telling me you need to go inside and not come back out. The past, Joanne says, the past 2 days, I thought I heard my mother calling from the great beyond. It was my stomach making noises. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Main house, that's a sound that makes me go back inside. I love hearing them whoops. I hear them whoops and stuff all the time. I love it when I get to hear one in person. Oh man, yeah. I got excited when I heard that whoop, because I've seen very little Bigfoot activity out here the last couple months, and I was kind of getting worried about it, because like, man, what happened to these guys? And then with everything else that's been going on, is like, I think these things ran my Bigfoot out. And then I heard that whoop, and I was like, oh, thank God. But I seriously think, and like I said, I could be 100% wrong. I seriously think it was my Bigfoot family that lives here, comes around on this property all the time. They're the ones that was warning me, whatever was out there doing what it was doing, I needed to come inside. And I did. I didn't try to come out and catch their audio or nothing. Of course, I couldn't, because all my stuff was in my vehicle, and my vehicle was in between whatever it was, that tree line, and where I was. So I did. I came back inside. Auntie says, I had a scary experience like that, and then heard wind chimes in my head after I ran in the house. I had to look it up to find out what they were saying is safe now. Oh, cool. Yeah, main house. Yeah. Oops, sorry. It jumped on me. Hey, Dario, how's it going? They are over by the wood stove. Last time I saw them. One dog's outside. He didn't want to come in. He's like, I want some cool air, because this wood stove's got it cranking in here. And of course, Rat Dog's on his pillow next to me. He likes sleeping on his little pillow next to my chair. I got to take Rat Dog out for a car ride earlier. He was so happy. He loves going on them car rides. Yeah, heed the warnings. Absolutely. Because discretion is the better part of valor. Absolutely. Because I'm hearing these coyotes getting jacked up, and I'm like, dude, I want to know what's going on. But then you hear that thump, 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 right in them woods where I've caught that thermal, or I've heard them at multiple times, where I've seen a bunch of evidence a bunch of times. And then all of a sudden in my head, I hear, get inside and do not come back out. That's literally what I heard in my head. And I did. And I was like, okay, yep. I went right back inside. Roxanne says, yeah, and have a siren on my messenger when Eric texts me. Oh, you have a siren. Marcia says, Eric, my daughter is teaching herself German. Oh, cool. German and Norse is very similar, because they're both Germanic. So like in German, when you say nein for no, in Norse it's nein. When you say stop in German, which is stoppa, and stoppe, stoppa. In Norse it's stoppe. Come heat and come heat. Come here. Arlen, I lived about 2.5 hour drive from Robbie, that doorbell wolf call. He plays on DH chat. I was hunting with the BILI. Oh, was in the tree. I heard that sound. I came down, loaded my truck, and I drove home. I don't blame you, man. You've not been back. I don't blame you. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this new stuff on top of what's been happening the last couple winters, there's something bringing these things in around here. Come think of it, I have not, Auntie. I've not seen Amy. Very little. Very, very little, Dario. I used to know a little bit of Japanese, a little bit of German. I'm trying to teach myself Norse. I used to know a little bit of the Muslim language. A little bit of some of the other stuff, because being in the military, I I had to learn some of that stuff for certain situations, but I forgot most of what I used to know. Jeff says, when your hair stands up on your neck, it's time to go inside. Hell yeah. I do too, Auntie. I do too. Italian? Yeah. Italian. What do I know? Pizza. I know pizza and Italian. That's about it. Farzi. Yeah, it's like, so my dogs know Norse commands, um, which is interesting because Norse is very similar to German. But, your Saxons, your um, Anglo, your Swedish, your Dane, your Norse, all of them were Germanic tribes. That's why the language is very similar. Yeah, I did. Like I used to have set at an X-ray machine at an ECP, control point, when the Turks and rest of the guys would come in, brother-in-law, and I used to have to say Kalash, finish, Shakrin, thank you, or God, I'm trying to remember. Keef, stop. Keef means stop. Endar, turn. You have to learn certain words to give commands. And so my knowledge is very little. But I forgot. So, I forgot most of my Spanish. I forgot a lot of stuff. Straight Arabic. Yeah. Roxanne, let's see. Jonas says, do you have any cult-like activity in the area? That is coming from an area that I was kind of mentioning that's close by me, Jonaside. Roxanne, I can talk Ghibli real good with my teeth out. I can teach you how. Yep, straight Arabic. Yep, Spanish is like Italian. It's very close. I've noticed that, Dario. Like when I come up to someone and I go, ¿Cómo está este? How are you today? Bien, bien, muchas gracias, este. Fine. And you? I know a little Spanish, but it's the curse words. Some of my Japanese, yeah. I remember a little bit of my, like, Ohio and Ohio. Good morning. Konnichiwa. How are you? Arigato or tomo arigato. Thank you. Thank you very much. One I don't want to say because we're on YouTube. Oh my God. See, I can't remember. I forgot so much of it. But I used to have to speak to stuff because of countries I've been in and trying to give commands while in the military. You got to learn some of that language. It's just, I forgot it. I can't remember. I can't remember some of it. I love American language, but it's difficult to me to speak it. Yeah, I get that, Dario. It's one of the hardest languages to learn out there. American English is the hardest language to learn. My friend taught, Auntie says, my friend taught my daughter to count in Japanese when she was little. Heck yeah. Roxanne says, I lost most of my Mexican language, not speaking it for, yeah, it happens, man. Yeah, I've got a couple Mexicans that I work with at work, and then I've got a good friend of mine. She used to ride around on a sign truck with me. She's now in the parts. She's Puerto Rican. My favorite is Portuguese and Italian. After that, Southern German sounds like a lullaby, not a. Yes, and I forgot most of the Native American languages. I used to know some words in different Native languages. If I remember right, Cherokee for crow, Kolga, or Kolgagi. Man, I forgot a lot of that too. Lakota, I just don't use it, so I forget it. Every word has 47 meanings in American English. Yeah. Yeah. So, But I mean, it's always fun to learn that stuff. It don't hurt to learn it. Like I was trying to learn Norse, but I've just been so busy, I haven't been able to do it. Um, but like when I'm going to my roots because I'm Norse and Dane. That's my two primary ones. That's why these protection runs I'm getting is all Norse based. Um, their names and their meanings, because that's my bloodline. I could definitely Roger speak fluent hillbilly. Hell yeah, and Buckeye. Heck yeah, man. Good to see you in here, Roger. Arlen says, when I went in service, I spent a year in Korea. I learned some of the language that was 53 years ago. I've forgotten much. Oh, yeah, you do. Oh, Australia. Yeah, I miss Australia. I loved Australia. Gaelic is hard. Gaelic is hard, Arlen. Yeah, Gaelic is hard. Um, but yeah, I struggle learning languages anyways. So unless it's hillbilly, I'm not good at it. It takes me forever to remember it, and if I don't use it, I forget it. You know, Main says you have to immerse yourself in it. Hang with someone fluent. Heck yeah, fluent and hillbilly too. Yeah, you do. Yeah, Gaelic's hard to learn, Auntie, but yeah, it'd be a good one to learn. It'd be a good one to learn. If you things, that's good. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I mean, Shante and Lakota is calm. Calm yourself. Shante. So I mean, I used to sing that stuff to my girls to help them go to sleep. I'd sing them the Lakota lullaby. And then I made my own lullaby up that I sang as well. I'd always sing first. I'd sing in the Lakota lullaby. Shante washte hochte da dagi astima. Aha hepe hey washte. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then I'd sing them the lullaby that I made, which was go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, my little babies. All is calm, all is bright, everything will be all right. And they'd fall asleep. Auntie says this spuns of words are weird. Yeah. Hey, Emilio. I'd like to learn Gaelic too since I have Irish bloodline. Yeah. Along with German, French, and yeah, absolutely. Main house. Beautiful sound word for calm. Yes. Yes, it is, main house. Auntie, me too, and German and a big Cherokee family. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Arlen says, my family is Scottish, Irish, English, female, tactical, Slav. Yeah, Sliv. Oh, heck yeah. Roxanne says, I learned Mexican at an early age from my dad's side. It was all Mexicans. They lost it through the years. Absolutely. My house. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Arlen says, Simar, hello. So, yeah, I mean, that was just the stuff that I did. And then I literally would have native flutes played on repeat while they slept. But that was our practice for many, many years. It's calming, it's soothing, it helps to soothe the babies down where they go to sleep. And it's frequency, it's the tone. I mean, it's how you say things. All that works. Then we got to when they got a little bit older and it was too cringe for daddy to sing a lullaby for them to go to sleep. We got to practice going, good night. I'd yell out, good night, Neverland. And they'd yell out, good night, Peter Pan. And that was our tradition for a little while till that got cringe too. So now it's just like they don't even want, yeah. The days of daddy being able to have fun with the little babies to go to sleep is gone. So yeah, I mean we used to have some fun. We used to have a lot of fun. Like in the mornings, they always try to sneak in and wake daddy up. They thought they was going to scare Daddy to wake him up. And of course, I can hear him coming from a mile away. So they'd come in and they'd quietly open up the door and they'd quietly sneak up the bed, and I'd jump at them, rah! And they get to screaming, and I'd wrap up like a burrito in my blanket, and then we'd wrestle around, and we had to get Daddy out of the burrito so we can get breakfast. You know, it was just, we used to have a lot of fun when they were young. Gaelic, how are you? Simar, hello. Mine is 12 going on 27. Yeah. Yeah, mine are 18 and 19 going on 19 and 20. They'll be in June, they'll be 19 and 20. Yes, on that whole. Hell yeah, man. So boy, we've reached that 2-hour mark. You guys got any last minute questions before we give it into the show and I go make me some dinner and swap my laundry around so I can go to bed, take a shower and go to bed? Hopefully I get out of shower tonight and I ain't got something looking in the window again. But want to make sure I hit any more questions before we shut her down for the week. It's okay, Auntie. You'll be able to, you can always watch it on repeat. Main house is yeah. I'm going to try to get some more short videos put out depending on what's going on. I got to put a bend on a new job position at work. And of course, everything else going on. I'm going to try to get some more videos put out, but I can't promise you anything just because I'm busier. Winter time's a very busy time for us. It just popped in for the BSing. It's been good. I have enjoyed it. That's good, Arlen. Thank you. I was haunting the town for a science project board. Oh, cool. Thanks, guys. With that being said, I want to everybody give a shout out to William, Corey, and Roxanne. You know, my mods. I'm truly thankful and blessed for each one of them. They are a huge help. I appreciate it. You know, shout out to my old subscribers, to my new ones. You know, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming in, listening to this over here, Billy, talk about stuff and share things. I love listening to you guys in the chat. You guys are amazing. I'm truly blessed by every single one of you guys, and I really do appreciate you guys. I don't know what I'll be getting with Jeff, try to get Jeff and hopefully Jeff and his crew to come on next Sunday. We'll have a Bigfoot topic or something. We'll just talk cryptids, or we'll get it figured out. Eric, have you seen on YouTube a video of a big giant wolf attacking a dog in a park? And yes, I think that came out last year or earlier this year. I think so. Dario, if I remember right. Yeah, I think I know which one you were talking about. And thanks, Arlen. So I'll get with Jeff, see what's going on there. Try to get him on. I got to try to get Marianne and Jen on as well. If you guys missed it, I did do a show with Marianne and Jen at Bigfoot, Wild Man, and Boogers on YouTube. So go check that out. It's an hour-long show, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it with them. Outside of that, I think that's about it. So until next week, everybody, peace, love, and blessings to every single one of you guys, and thank you so much. So until next time, everybody, see ya. Bye.